I'm Cheryl Smith with Smith Real Estate Services, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about what it's like to sell a home with us. I'm going to break it into 5 areas. The first is going to be the listing, the second will be marketing, the third will be offers and how they're handled, the fourth will be in contract, and the fifth will be life after the sale of your home. Now, let's talk about the listing first of all. The very first thing you will find from us is a pre-listing package which will be delivered to you prior to our listing appointment. And it will spell out for you what's going on in the market around your home, as well as some information about us. That way you can formulate any questions that you have, not just in the confines of the actual listing appointment. In the listing appointment, we will talk about what it will take to get your home sold. And we will answer any questions that you have about it. We will then, once we decide that we are going to work together, we will enter phase 2, which is the marketing of your home. Now, of course, the first thing that we'll do is we'll get a sign ordered and we'll get it entered in multiple listing service. But that's really just the beginning of what we do. We also will create a flyer for you and we'll give it back to you for your approval. We want to make sure that we're saying what you want us to say, and we want to make sure that you like what it says. So we will prepare that flyer. Additionally, we price watch. Now, what does that mean? What that means is when a home across the street from you goes up, we need to know about it before the market does. So we're going to be watching that every day and making adjustments as needed to make sure that your home represents the best value in this market. We're also going to be prospecting for buyers. Now, sometimes the buyers are going to call off of signs, and of course we return every buyer's call because we don't know if that buyer is really going to be your buyer, and we want to make sure that we capture them. Additionally, we're going to be calling around your neighborhood. It may be that people who already live there know people who also want to live there, and we want to make sure that we're prospecting for those buyers. We also will have an open house on the first Saturday after your listing. That's usually when it occurs because that's when your listing is the hottest. After all of the buyers that are actively looking are going to be looking right at that time, and so we want to get that open house done. Finally, we will be talking to you every week. Now, that's very important because the #1 complaint, according to the National Association of Realtors, that people have about their real estate professional is that after they list the home, they never hear from them again. You won't find that with our team. We will be in touch with you every week to let you know what is going on, how many showings, offers, changes in the market, all of that. That takes us to the third phase, which is when offers come in. There might be one, there might be more than one. But what we do is we compare every offer to what's going on in the market before we ever bring it to you. We don't just bring you an offer and say, what do you think? We've done our homework to see how well that offer represents what you should get for your home. The other thing that we do is we make sure that the buyer has adequately submitted documentation to demonstrate their ability to actually close on your home. Surprisingly, there are many buyers that are not committed to homes and they don't have the ability to even finish the transaction. And as your agent, it is our responsibility and our privilege to pre-screen those buyers to make sure that they do seem to actually be able to get to the finish line. Finally, after we've done our homework, we present the offer to you. And you take a look at it and make a decision as to how you want to respond. There will likely be negotiations, and negotiating is one of the things that we do best. We're very good at it, and that's why we get our sellers more than most agents in this market. We will always be doing that with your best interests in mind. Once we actually have an offer that you find acceptable, then of course we'll go into contract. And at that point our transaction coordinator will step in and take care of all of the paperwork to make sure that you remain in compliance. She will also prepare a timeline that spells out who's supposed to do what and when, and also manage that timeline to make certain that the responsible parties are doing things on time. After all, the contract is very specific and does spell out times, and we need to make sure that everyone, both you and the buyer, do things on time. We'll also be in contact with the buyer's lender to make sure that we know what's happening over there, so there's not this mystery about what's happening on the loan. And we'll be in contact with escrow as well, so that we always know what is happening with your transaction. And don't worry, those weekly updates will continue, so that we will continue to keep you posted on what's happening with your transaction. Of course, during the contract period, the other thing will be that the buyer will have inspections. And so we'll be coordinating those inspections with you so that you know about them. There won't be this big mystery. And finally, at some point, you will move out of the home. And within 2 days prior to the close of escrow, we will order the sign down. And finally, we get to the closing. And in the closing, I will call you once the buyer is actually on record as the new owner of your home. Escrow will send you a final settlement statement and a check of any funds that are due to you. And then we'll be in contact with you to ask you, how did you enjoy working with the Smith team? We're certainly very interested in your feedback, and we'll continue to stay in contact with you as we want to be your realtor for life. Thank you for choosing the Smith team. We look forward to selling your home.